After recovering the hippogriff eggs to potentially raise and start their own airborne mount breeding program, the explorers returned to the beachhead and convinced the rest of the expedition it was worth staying one more day and trying to pull down resources at the abandoned farmstead. The planned cargo keeps changing, but currently leaning more towards the processed lumber, any metal at the farmstead, along with a more thorough harvesting of any seeds within the overgrown vegetable gardens and possibly the topsoil as well. However, during the evening, a band of gremlins attacked the camp during Rench's watch. Rench tried to determine what the noises were before waking the rest of the group, but that short delay led to Rench being completely mobbed, vomited on, and stoned to unconsciousness. While the party was waking up and rushing to save Rench, Gribbo also noticed another figure skulking about, closing in on the airship. Gribbo rushed to the airship to grab and defeat the Jenkin before it could begin to hide and tinker with the ship's mechanical systems. After dispatching the gremlins and healing Rench, the explorers went back to sleep. In the morning, they decided to split the forces in a different way than the rest of the trip. The 2 farming guild workers will travel with Viktor, Gribbo, and Rench to the farmhouse, while Serena stays back with Captain Ruethwyn and the other 2 workers to protect the ship. We pick back up as they conduct any last-minute briefings on their mission.
Well, I don't love this, but Serena, if anything comes here, I don't know if you can make a big boom, but maybe try to send up a signal. We'll do the same.
Yeah, sure. I think I can throw at least fire into the air.
All right.
Try to keep our eyes open for such a thing.
And so the captain will look around at the 5 of you heading to the farmstead and, well, don't know when you'll be back. I know you have a couple hours walk to go and then a lot of time to spend there and then probably a slow journey back. I'm still not sure we have all the right tools for bringing back everything you want to bring back, so try to prioritize what you can carry, what you can bring. You know what we have here already.
Sounds good. We'll try to make some... I believe we got a little bit of cloth here, if I remember correctly, from maybe the food provision stash, but we'll try to make what we can to bring it back.
Once we get there, I'm sure we can take a look through the supplies. We might have some boards that could be used to construct a sledge or something of the like to help get things back this way.
Reckon that should work pretty well.
I think I'm going to set up some of my torches around the perimeter to light up the area at night. It seems to be maybe an issue of ours. If anyone has torches to donate to this cause, go ahead.
I think I got some extras. Hold on. I'll give you 5 torches.
Okay,
If you want to
I
just
can
add
throw
them,
you
I'm
a
going to
couple.
delete them. Yeah.
I gotcha.
You can take 4. I'm going to keep 1 just in case.
So, 14 torches in my inventory. Okay, well, that should be plenty of light for the nights.
Well, it sounds like you're all set. And the plan still, of course, tomorrow at first light, we plan to head back to Hanging Bastion. Let's make sure we get back here safely and keep watch for another night. Hopefully those gremlins don't come back.
Sounds good to me.
I sure hope not.
Yeah, we'll be a little better prepared this time if they dare show their face.
And so the 5 of you began heading off to the farmstead. And as you were leading the way, is there anything you're planning to discuss with Lori and Senek?
Well, they're both Farmers Guild, right?
Yes.
Do I have a room? Yeah.
Yes.
What's
Both Farmers Guild. Senek is more of just a laborer who works with them, where Lori is a little bit more of an actual farmer.
I know there was a lot of pushback from the Farmers Guild about this trip. What are your feelings on it? I figured getting new supplies would be right up your alley. I'm a little surprised by that.
Senek looks very closed off to that question, and he kind of shoots a glance at Lori, and it looked like she was about to say something, and she's kind of gone quiet.
Well, all right, you don't want to talk about it.
You can give me
Trying to make some conversation.
a society check
Yeah,
on that one.
Okay, sure.
I mean, you probably would have known, Guildmaster Frange, who is the leader of the farming guild. He's been rising in power within the city for the past maybe 3 years or so, as the little farming they have has started to help. And he kind of lords that over everyone else and is using that to maybe petition for nobility. He's trying to rise the ranks that way. He's always denigrating almost every other guild to make sure they don't get credit for anything. And you're pretty sure that's the big part of why he doesn't want to see things change. He is happy with the way things are going, with the scarcity and him being the provider that fixes it.
I'm going to assume Gribbo might have made that connection with that check versus he doesn't pay a lot of attention to these sorts of things in the city, but might have heard things from Darren and got that, secondhand, but still.
And Lori kind of notices the tense atmosphere here, and she'll try to break the ice a little by pointing out some of the vines. It's like, oh, and look at that. It's not useful, but we don't have that back home. And there's I think those are tulips. Once again, they're pretty, but they can't feed people. She's trying to just make conversation by pointing out things she's seeing in the jungle or in the forest, but you can tell it's very forced.
As they're kind of going through, Viktor kind of looks over at between the two. Well, food is obviously incredibly important here, but if we don't have anything to sustain us beside it, we'll still starve. This maybe isn't the trip to bring such things back, but things to enrich the city, I don't think could ever be a waste.
And Lori seems to be nodding along with that statement. Senec just keeps kind of scowling. You can tell you're pretty sure he's kind of deep into the politics of the guild, where Lori seems like she is just a hard worker who knows her craft. Just also fixing all the conditions we had in people that should have been fixed by now. There we go.
Yeah, I think in general, I'm not super knowledgeable about plants. I know a little survival, but I'll listen and kind of just ask some questions to get some information, just to create some conversation and lighten things a little bit. So,
just to have you moving off through the woods, not in the same place. Lori asks a little bit about, so back at this farmstead we're going to, you said it's about a hour and a half, 2-hour walk. I still share the captain's concerns. How are we going to bring... we can get seeds, no problem, but I don't understand exactly what we're hoping to do.
Well, my best guess...
Metal, right, Gribbo?
Yeah, there's some metal there that I'd like to gather. And I'm guessing if we can get 2 pretty long sticks and some cloth, we could make essentially... Well, I guess in the medical field, you'd call it a stretcher, but one for dirt... Maybe we could have some people carry it back that way.
First, did you see any cloth when you were there last time?
Well, we got a little off the boat. I don't recall seeing much there, though.
And, I know we've said it'd be useful to bring back some dirt to help expand our existing farms on the rocky surface, but a stretcher load, that's barely going to make a difference.
You do have a point. Viktor, Rench, you two have any better ideas for dirt?
Well, what we can take back, if it's useful, great. I hope to have Lori take a look maybe at those plants we did too. She might have a better eye for it. But I hope to find anything we could scavenge. Nails, small things that are useful to the city that we just have a finite supply of.
Yeah, we can utilize your unique viewpoints there, Senec and Lori. You'll be able to help us prioritize what we can take. There's a lot there. It's a whole cabin and an entire garden worth of crops.
Oh, I don't refute that there's a lot there. We don't have wheelbarrows. We don't have carts. Not that we have anything to pull the carts either. I know we said that soil from the clearings or farms is better than the leaf mold and top stuff from the forest here, but at least at the landing, we could just shovel stuff right onto the boat and then shovel it back off at the end. And I know we were asking for something that maybe was impossible, and I feel like now we are chasing something that we can't even do. I don't mind looking at the plants. I'm sure we can find more seeds, and that will be useful. I don't know. And Senec still is kind of just looking, nodding along with what she is saying, and he's looking kind of grim-faced.
You do have a point there. Maybe the lumber there is a little better to get, though you were taking trees back there. This is... stuff in the house might be in a little better shape. I don't know, how good of a search did we do that attic? I don't recall what we found up there.
The one thing I would keep in mind is we keep talking about not being able to take back too much, but the ship is not that large. We already have quite a few supplies. I don't think this is going to be wasted. There is not much else for us to do here besides find things that are not readily available to us back at our home. Whether those are curiosities, that can enrich the city in some way, or different variants of fruit or vegetables that we don't have. It's not about quantity, it's about finding things that we can't find back there.
I understand that, and yes, this is going to be worth it for the seeds, I think, alone. But in terms of hauling stuff, I feel the lumber we had, the trees we had at the base camp, or continuing to shovel dirt, that seemed like well worth our time compared to hauling small amounts of maybe slightly more processed lumber from a used farmstead, and I still just don't see how we're getting any of the better soil in an amount that matters. So I'm happy to keep, we'll go there, we'll look over the plants, you'll scavenge for whatever weird odds and ends you can find. It just seems like we might have spent an extra day here for not much gain. And
is it so bad being away from the city?
Well, the city was expecting us back, and didn't mean to leave the two of them behind. City was expecting us back. I'm sure people are getting nervous if we're not back as expected, and I think that factors into how willing they will be to send the next missions. And I know at least most of us here are hoping these missions continue.
It's just giving us a dramatic return. Where's all the fanfare if it's just as scheduled and on time? Don't worry, there will be plenty more, I'm sure, and I can say, at least from my experience, you've all been a great help. I imagine you'll be on future expeditions.
Lori looks happy at that. Seneca looks scowling at that, of course. And I hope there's a future mission. I know I tried to push while we were at the base camp to start setting up some amount of infrastructure for future visits. No one else thought that was worth the time right now, and they're probably right, but a watchtower, a better mooring point for the vessel, clearing out a couple more of the trees, even though we can't take them back, just to have a bigger area to work. I don't know, a house? Something. It feels like one trip alone's not gonna exploit this island, and we're gonna want more. Of course, it does sound like you've seen the hints of some other islands as well, and kind of like you might need to have this as a staging point as well. So I think we'll need to build this place up at some point, but I don't know how that's going to happen or when either.
Well, that's also not going to happen today, or even with one extra day or another day beyond that. This is just the very first step on this whole journey.
And
See about throwing together a bit of a wagon here if we wanted to, or bringing back some of the dirt.
You think you can make a wagon in just a couple of hours? That'd be amazing.
Depending what we have there could be what we need. I'm more than happy to help you, Gribbo.
House is built of nails. The wheels might be the hardest part, but at the very least, maybe instead of a wagon, we could get a big, my idea for a stretcher. What if that were made out of wood and had a big barrel in the middle? No wheels, but we get 4 of us carrying that. We could put a lot of dirt and haul it back, I'd imagine.
That's assuming we find a large barrel.
Yep.
No, not a barrel. I'm talking about some wood nailed together and to make a large crate, I guess you'd say.
Well, I guess we can't know until we get there. And
Fair enough.
The 5 of you just keep walking. I'm going to jump back to Serena at the base camp. And so, what are you up to? Serena, are you there?
Well, I'm not going to really get in your way. I'm just going to be setting up some torches around the perimeter. So if you need anything or you see something that needs a response, let me know. But until then, I'm going to be taking some of the more twiggy logs that we got and standing them up and putting a torch on them with this rope I got.
And you're not lighting them now, right? You're just setting them up for them to be ready for the evening?
Yeah.
Or are we having fire all day?
I don't see the need for fire all day. I also was thinking about trying to craft. She pulls out from her kit, which is probably what's holding all of her supplies, her iron cook pot, maybe making a bell, some way
useful.
of just letting everyone know that something's going on, wake us all up. Other than that, I'll try to stay out of your way.
How much? He's going to ask you, how much do you think they are likely to bring back?
Well, they're pretty resourceful. I kind of hope that they are able to bring quite a bit back. I don't know. Rench and them kind of surprise me. Sometimes they're also a little bit blind to their options. So, I don't know. We'll see. At the very least, we'll have more seeds, which are a lot flashier than, unfortunately, logs and dirt. And I don't think we're getting too much. What we need is prestige to get people on board coming back here with maybe a larger expedition, a more well-stocked one that actually has some of the tools that we would need for this sort of thing. I would love to set up like a watchtower here, but like, I don't think I have the time for that.
He smiles and said, "You should have been here when Lori was talking about that. I'm not sure how we're going to get a much larger expedition. You saw how crowded we were on the ship on the way out here with the 9 of us. We need a larger ship. I mean, I guess we can all be crammed on standing room only, but then if those eagles attack again or other creatures in the sky, I don't know, we might lose people. I guess we could have everyone sit below deck, but then where do we bring the supplies we'd want to set up for the area?"
Yeah, that's the issue. We need to get people to invest in this idea and maybe make another ship.
And I guess, I mean, we send out a group and the ship just makes, back and forth journeys for a couple days, and we can bring out multiple loads that way. But then if we ever have to do a rapid evacuation, we have no option.
Exactly.
We have a lot to think about. I'm glad you're at least considering it.
What we need is redundancy in the ship, unfortunately, and we only have one very precious ship. All right, well, I'm going to get started. Let me know if you guys need anything. Until then, I think I'm going to put up... They gave me quite a lot of torches, but I think I'm going to only put up about 4 of them. I'm going to, draw a...
Yep. You can draw a little X wherever you want your torches to be. Okay. And we will jump back to the other party. I'm going to move you to the farmstead map. So you have arrived at the farmstead, and looking around, it looks like you remember. What are you wanting to do?
Yeah, as they come in through the front gate here, I think Victor's going to first turn to Lori and Senek and say, "Just thought of it. Don't venture too far past the gardens towards that dried up creek over there. There was some nastiness from some of the local creatures that were here. It might still stink a bit, but they've all been cleared out. Because I believe there was a body pile back here somewhere.
It was burned, remember, but it's probably not the best site. Victor, Rench, y'all. You see that table in there? Is that like what I see in the cabin accurate? Is there a big table in the middle?
Yes, it's probably a little worse shape than that, but it is a table. It's not falling apart yet, but it's probably slightly rotted or a little bit decrepit because the roof is not perfect, so rain has been getting in.
Now, what if we flip that over, reinforce the base and put on sides on it, and then we could attach some longer poles and just haul that back with some dirt in it? You think that would work?
I don't know if the dirt is necessarily what we want. If we can bring back enough to really do anything with it.
Yeah, I don't have a good idea for how much dirt you need for farming, so maybe that's not the right amount.
Well, we'd be able to haul a whole lot more of these crops, if anything is salvageable from it further.
Oh, that's a good
Senek
point.
and Lori.
Well, we will need to start... Oh, everyone went wrong conditions again. Let me take these all off of them. There we go. Well, we'll have to look through and see what we can find. And, they both, Lori steps into the field to start kind of poking around, looking at stuff, and is handing things to Senek, who has a small burlap bag that he's at least putting some of the seeds into, or seed pods. Lori is doing her best to try to, find larger pods that might hold seeds, that at least this way you can tell at a glance what they are and not just have a big bag of mixed seeds. You don't really have supplies to keep them sorted very well, so she's trying to, do her best on managing things that way.
Yeah, I think Victor will stay out there to help them, but also just so there is someone out here with them. And then if you need my help, Gribbo, I can come and help you too afterwards.
Yeah, I think Gribbo's first idea is to look around the house to figure out if there are things worth bringing back in terms of like the metal type bits, anything of value that I think might be good for back in town. And I will kind of, to that extent, use my innate ability to detect metal, which might not help a lot. There's probably lots of little metal bits in here, but I'm gonna kind of.
And there's lots there's some nails as you'd expect. There's a sickle, it looks like, on the ground right by the door. Other than that, There's the cleaver, knife. You see a couple items on the table. There's not a lot of metal. It even looks like some of the tables and chairs here were joinery, no fasteners used, or maybe some dowels, but no metal. Looks like that was in short supply here.
Okay. And in the attic, what do I spot up there? Also kind of looking for any sort of cloth material that might be of hand.
Yeah, there was no cloth up there, or what there was is not in good shape. That's been, looks like it's had rodents of some kind, maybe nesting in it. The stuff on the bed here is definitely not in that good condition either. It looks soiled. It looks like it's been rotted a little bit, mildewed. So up in the attic, other than that, there's some decomposing hay. There's a couple of badly rotted out burlap sacks with some other, it looks like some flour or wheat, but again, none of that looks like it's in decent shape at this point. It's been years exposed to the elements. Rench, what are you up to?
Well, I mean, I was honestly hoping to get a better look at all the things in the cabin and in and around this entire structure, just to see if there was anything we could repurpose. I'm kind of a little sad to see not even like any tools have been left behind. Anything we can repurpose to help rebuild, a table into something else for more of a transport or anything along those lines. Not that I can see too well in there. I can squeeze through the door if need be, but it sounds like from Gribbo's looking through, there isn't nearly as much as I had hoped.
You can give me crafting checks for identifying what's here, what you think you can salvage.
All right, let's go with a straight crafting.
So looking around, I mean, within the building, I mean, the table, while it's not in great shape, it's still in reasonable shape. Same with the chairs. The floorboards, you think you could, if you want to spend some time prying them up, they still look fine, as does most of the siding of the building itself. So you think in terms of, planks, that's probably the easiest to harvest from this location. You think the seal, like the roof, it's a mix of thatch and tile. None of that looks like it's worth trying to get. The main beams supporting the ceiling, even those might be decent, but of course you take those down and you're going to have the whole building coming down around you. But yeah, there's not a lot of tools. I mean, you said there's the 3 or so that I've called out, and other than that, I mean, it does seem like maybe those gremlins were stealing stuff over the years from here, especially now that the farmer's gone. But of course, he had to get maybe the ghoul was still protecting things, but yeah, there's not a lot of tools. You don't see a pitchfork, you don't see trowels or other sort of small shovels.
And we can't figure out where those gremlins came from. They might have some of the stuff, perhaps.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a pretty big island still.
Yep. I mean, I will grab the tools that are here, just to know. Like, the metal tools seem like generally things that will be valuable, even if they're not small, so.
Sure. Victor, so you're outside just watching. Anything else you're doing?
I'm just assisting as best as I can. He does have nature, so he's just kind of picking through and kind of more just showing the things that he think might be useful to Lori, and just then also keeping an eye on things just to make sure. Last time he was in this thing, something jumped at him, so.
What are you doing, Gribbo? I see you running all over the place.
I'm just headed over. I mean, assuming we've picked over the house, I'd be moving outside next. And
I mean, it's going to take some time if you're going to be picking over the house.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fine. I'll stay inside. But
if you're...
I meant the metal tools. I'm not, like, taking off the wood at this point.
Okay, you're just grabbing the metal tools, and then what are you doing?
Then I'm kind of heading... I mean, I'm going to figure out what our situation is first. Like, we kind of know what we might be able to get from the house. What's the lot back here in the very back? Have we looked through that much, or was that just part of the garden?
You've not looked through it much. It looks like it's more just a large wheat field, unlike the vegetable garden. But again, it looks like that maybe has gotten slightly overrun by just weeds, and it's not as useful. It looks like it's not at the point that it's setting any seeds yet, so there's not much there. However, that is close enough. Let me pause things.
Oh, no.
As you hear a rustling, you can go ahead and roll me initiative, and that includes you, Serena, as well. We'll jump back. Let me just get everything rolled here.
Okay.
So, what's going on at this scene? Coming out of where the burned pile of corpses were are a set of rats. You have 2 giant rats, which look exactly the way you'd expect rats to look. Nothing unusual about them. I mean, yes, they have red eyes in the picture here and maybe blue fur, which might be a little unusual, but that's within the realms of what you're used to. And additionally, a swarming pile of smaller rats. That's what you'll be dealing with. And we will jump back to Island Landing, and let's same idea. We'll hide. No, I'm not going to hide you here. I think it's going to mess things up. And here, so on this map, Serena's been off setting up your torches. Did you put X's for where you wanted them? I don't see that.
You switched maps before I can do anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Okay.
It's okay.
But so you would have been probably.
It's paused, so I can't.
Yes,
do it.
I'm going to move you. You're somewhere here setting up a torch. The captain will be on the boat keeping lookout, and the other 2 of them are currently chopping some of the lumber they've got and trying to make it fit into the hold. And Serena, while you're out there taking a look at what's happening, you see two of the intruders from last night off to the northwest here. Looks like they're coming back for more. We will unpause here, and we will be jumping between the 2 scenes happening in parallel. So up first, we have one of the gremlins who is remembering that he's able to fly and is gonna fly up on top of the log pile and is gonna throw a rock at Dorn.
Hey, Lou.
He's gonna hit
Still,
Dorn.
Unconscious.
Oh, I'll fix Silu, thank you. She's not working well asleep. Dorn just got hit though, and hit pretty hard. And what's he gonna do after that? After that, he's gonna grab another rock. Next up is Rench, so let me switch to your map. We'll see how bad an idea this is later on, but... And so Rench, what are you doing? You see lots of rats approaching you as you are starting to harvest at this outdoor garden.
All right, well, heads up, everybody. We got company. I'm going to run past Senek here to the other corner of the garden, kind of underneath this tree here, if that's an okay spot to be. And right from here, yeah, there's I'm gonna take aim on one of these 2 giant, I'm assuming they're leader rats. I don't know how rats have evolved on this island, but I'm taking them as the king and queen rat who controls that big pile, and I'm going to take a shot at that one, maybe make an example of him.
That will hit.
23.
The giant
I'll catch
rat,
that one with 8.
but it's an even giant crossbow bolt, and it just gets pinned to the ground and is completely dead. 1 shot, 1 kill.
Good. Stay. I'm going to use my third action to reload, muttering the number 5 under my breath. That's me.
Gribbo.
Well, this is a situation. Yeah, I'm gonna stride up to here. That is unfortunately 10, 15, 20. That's 25 feet. We'll do a defensive advance to here. So I'll stride there, raise my shield, and strike, basically. Let's get my, and I'm gonna bash it with my shield, actually, because I figure, actually, I don't want to. Yeah, no, we'll hit the giant rat.
That will hit it.
16? Oh, that's not the right damage again. Why does that's? You know what? It's fine.
Is that correct?
It's supposed to be 1d6 plus 4, but that's fine.
Okay.
We'll take the decent roll on a d4. I don't know why it's not doing my shield boss, but it doesn't like to do my shield. Oh, I hit the wrong button. That's why.
Okay.
My shield's up, and that was my turn.
The rat swarm is up next. It's gonna step on over you, and it's gonna start biting. So I will need a reflex save from you as the rats are crawling all over you and trying to find gaps in your armor to bite at you. And that is a success, so you'll take half of this. It might be nothing for you with your...
It is, yeah, with my DR.
It will try a second time, though, biting you.
That's likely to do some more.
And this time, it does possibly get through. No, it does not. However, we do need a fortitude save from you.
Oh, even if I take no fine. Yeah. You got a button. There we go. Should be good, I'm guessing. 20.
Yep, fine. So they spent a turn swarming around you, biting at you. At times it felt like they latched onto the armor but weren't able to penetrate through. Their fur is maybe rough, is shedding against you a little bit, and maybe that's where some of this disease is coming from, less than from the bites. But you think you're okay, and the rats seem like they may be getting bored with you, that they can't find a way through your armor. Senek is going to retreat to the house, and thinks that's a safe place to be. The captain is up next, so we will switch scenes. They're back. Serena, quick. The gremlins are from last night. They're back on top of the woodpile. And the other one of them is up next. He's going to fly in, and he is also going to throw a rock at Dorn. And misses Dorn and grabs another one. Serena.
All right. Well, I'm going to move a little closer and lock on to one of these rats. This one seems to be injured from last night.
Yeah.
And I am going to hit it with a divine lance, using her unholy magics to make an unsettling bolt of energy. She throws it at them and misses.
And as before, every
Everyone-
time you use that, you seem to start hearing a deep voice laughing in your head.
Everyone get to safety. I can take these.
Hey, Viktor.
Okay. So I think it's just barely out of my reach. But seeing them start swarming over Gribbo, he's going to go tearing through the patch to get up to, not right next to Gribbo, but to get a little distance. So when he swings his hammer kind of in a wide arc to try to clear them back and away from him here. So as he runs in with them all. Ooh, that one. I don't like those. Let's reroll this. 15 to hit.
That is going to
4
hit.
points of bludgeoning.
That's a lot of bludgeoning. The rat swarm looks highly dispersed on that. You did a lot of damage there, but I also need an acrobatics check from you.
Oh, we ain't good at those.
Yeah, I mean, it's you trampled a lot of the vegetables on your run through. There's the one problem from that dashing through, but that might make it harder to get some stuff back. The rats are looking in very bad shape. However, Dorn is up next, and Dorn is also looking in pretty bad shape. He's badly injured, and I guess he has an axe in hand. He's been trying to chop lumber, so he's going to move there, and he is going to swing. I don't think I have the axe program. I'm going to swing his club. We'll just change the damage type. He hits. He hits. Actually, no, he does not, because I was going to give them a point of cover for being up and above, so they do miss. He will try a second time, and misses again. He's looking a little woozy on his feet. Maybe one of those rocks hit his helmet, and his head's ringing a little, and he's just not quite sure where he's going. And then we're over to, I guess I never got Silu in this. Let's see here. I'll skip that though. We're up to Lori next. So back to the farmstead. The vegetables, nope, I need to get out of here. And she is going to also back up to the farmhouse. And then we're back to the top of the round, and one of the Grimples is going. And it's the one that Dorn just tried to hit and missed. And he's going to vomit. There we go. Oh, so it's only poor old Dorn having to give this fortitude save. And he gets a critical fail. He is sickened too, and he is not looking good at all from this. He's going to follow that up with a grease. Same thing as last time. Really just trying to... how do I do this? That. There we go. Okay, and Dorn needs to give a reflex save. Dorn is prone in the vomit grease. Rench.
All right, back at the garden side fight. I really don't want to expend too much more ammunition if I don't have to. So it looks like I'm going to spend 2 actions running straight up to this rat swarm, and I'm just going to duck down and shoulder block and stab at these things with my horns. Maybe I can just lift a few of them up and scatter them out down the riverbed.
That is a hit.
I did not target them. Sorry about that. If that is a hit, though, I'll fling a few of them away.
And I mean, you tried, and it's like the horns just kept going right through the midst of them. They're mostly also all over Gribbo. It was, maybe trying to avoid Gribbo. You just couldn't get really the horns to connect with anything.
Yeah, I am trying not to stab my friend. That is true. But that's all my actions there. I'd take 2 to move up.
Gribbo.
Gribbo's going to use their first action to try to bash these things with their shield. This time I'll actually click on my shield boss. He's like, oh, get out of here.
That will hit.
Looks like that. 18, yep. Okay. So we do 8 damage. Okay.
And that finishes off the rat swarm. You have 2 actions left. No visible enemies.
Yeah, I'm gonna head basically back towards the farmhouse to make sure people there are okay. Make sure nothing's trying to get them from behind, because I think everyone fled there. So I cannot click on myself. Sorry. Thank you. I think here is where I get. No, I'm going around the farm.
Okay.
So, but yeah.
Skip Senek. We'll skip the captain. We'll go back to one of the grimples on the log pile.
Are we going to add her to the...
Probably. I guess I should. Let me toggle
She
her in.
might be important to Dorn.
Yep. So she actually would be next. So we'll have her return now. Let's see. How does she want to handle this? She does not. I'm gonna do a flat check on this. Yeah, you've seen that Silu is a little fastidious. You don't think she really wants to go running through the vomit. So she is going to take the long way around. Luckily, as an elf, she does have enough speed, and is going to try to pull him out. She's going to try to reposition Dorn. Does she have an athletic score? No, she has no stats. I think it lost the stats I put in for her. I'm going to do a roll and see what we get. And he would be wanting to help. So he has been pulled out of the grease just in time for the next one of these guys to go. And he'll also put down a grease spell. So both of them need to give reflex saves. I guess Dorn doesn't have to. He was already prone. Silu is prone now too in it. So they are both prone in the grease now. And Serena, it is your turn.
Okay. Another 25 feet. I'm going to get up right behind them and then use a melee ignition. Here we go. We're going to go with the injured one.
Okay, I'm going to give him 1 point of cover. Won't matter this time. You got him. It's critical. It's not a critical hit with the 1 point of cover. And that one is burned to a crisp. You smell roasting meat of some kind. And again, the laughter in your head is getting louder and louder and more joyful. But we are back to Viktor. You don't see any more rats. What would you like to do?
I think he's just going to head back over towards that pile, just to make sure there's nothing back here.
It was right here.
Check.
So yeah.
Yeah. So he's looking down and around the area here.
Sure.
Doesn't think he sees or hears anything, but he'll do a check just to make sure.
In looking through there, it does look like the pile you remember that was burned and kind of smaller has been scavenged through. It does look like these rats may have been, rooting through it, trying to find anything, digging past the charred outside to get to the inside of whatever mess of gross stuff was still there. You don't see anything large moving there. You think you have seen some disgusting looking larvae or things of that nature wriggling about there, but that's about it.
Yeah, and as he kind of goes, just the normal scavengers. I'll head back, and he goes back towards the group. Doesn't look like there's anything else over there, but those rats. I think they were just cleaning up that mess after there was no ghoul to defend that pile, and that's all this whole turn.
Lori is gonna shout out from inside. Is it safe to come back out? Have you dealt with all the problems?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we got them all. Viktor's checking out the pile. I figured I'd make sure you two are all right.
So she'll spend 2 actions effectively, slowly coming out and peeking around to make sure it's safe. And we'll then jump back to the island landing. I did switch Lori and Dorn's initiative just to have 2 people try to keep people a little more batched on which maps they're on. So Dorn is up next, and he is going to try to stand up, and he succeeds. He is going to, I guess if he comes forward, he's not. He can come this way without being back in the grease. What was that? Oh, that's a fail.
A little bit weird.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it always snaps to them. Actually, that was a fail. So he failed. He did not get up. And he's then going to just crawl out and then stand up. That's his whole turn, but he is right next to them now. And the one who is still alive of that group is up. And that was the one who already vomited and greased. So what does it want to do? He just saw Serena come in here and destroy one of them. So he's going to try to bite you. What size is he? He's going to move into your square and then try to bite you. And with a 9 will miss and tries a second one. With an 18 will hit for 5 points of damage. And I will need a reflex save from you.
Okay.
You're okay. Just take the damage. There you go. Okay. Rench, What would you like to do?
Okay, I think I'm gonna also just give this a little look just from the other side. I know Victor showed everything in the clear. I'm just gonna get just past this overgrown what do you call this section, like a small like wheat
Mhm.
crop, and I'm just going to use my other two actions here just to seek, kind of like in a general, like from where I am, like a northeasterly direction and then a southeasterly direction, just to kind of scan this whole area out behind the structure,
Sure. Give me the perception rolls.
just to make sure nothing else is looking too lively out here. All right, so there's the first, and yeah, make sure nothing else is attracting or being attracted from that weird pile of burnt up stuff we left.
So to the northeast, you see more evidence. You see like a very at first you're not sure what it is. It looked almost like a black stream. Then you realize it is just a collection of ants that seem to be coming to and from the refuse pile. To the southeast, you don't see anything interesting.
Just a lot of bugs back here. I think we're good.
Gribbo's gonna proceed down, kind of look in the house and check on Senek to make sure they're okay.
Well, he's coming back
And
out
then-
now as well to start resuming their work.
Just because I'm around here, and at this point Gribbo's a little paranoid. I'll do kind of a seek action to the southwest just to make sure nothing's coming in from behind here. And I don't think so, but you never know, and it doesn't hurt.
It's eerily silent to the southwest. Maybe not that eerily if you actually think about the fact that battle was just happening and there was loud noises, but it is quieter than you're used to it being on the island now.
Seems mighty quiet here. Don't know why. I mean, maybe from the fight. It's my turn.
I'm going to say we are out of combat at the farmstead. I'm going to stay just on the island landing until we finish that one.
Sounds good.
The captain still is just staying on the ship in case anyone gets too close. Silu is going to just crawl out and stand. She does not want to try to stand up in the grease. And then with one action left is going to come around the edge. Serena.
All right, I'm going to back up so that it has to use an action to move up to me if it wants to attack me again. And I'm going to cast Ignition at melee again.
It has
Here,
no
friend.
cover this time. That's a hit.
Have some fire damage.
Dorn is going to spend an action climbing up and over the log pile, and is then going to spend 2 attacks on the Grimple with his axe, using the club stats here. That's what you get for vomiting on me. And we are out of combat both places.
Good job.
Get him, Dorn.
Ugh,
Dorn raged. He's
I
a
think I'm going to
barbarian.
be sick.
At least find someplace outside of camp to be sick
Yeah,
in.
I don't. Well, they already vomited all over our logs. I think we're gonna. Oh, I'll be back. And he goes off here to retch for a while to lose the sicken condition eventually.
Satchel for holding rocks. Well, I don't think either of these have anything we'd want, and I don't want their dead bodies anywhere near the camp. So she's going to pick them both up and toss them off the island.
Okay. The captain yells out, "Are they all gone?"
Yes, they're gone.
I didn't see anything coming on the other side this time. There was just 2.
There's just the 2.
That
I think they were just the stragglers from last time.
I think we're lucky. I think if there'd been more at wherever they're from, it would have been back in larger numbers. Maybe that's all they have.
Let's mark the things real quick.
Yep. Where you want your torches before I jump back to the other one.
Yeah,
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
and 4,
Okay.
5. Pretty
Okay.
good spread.
Yep. We will jump back to the farmstead. And we are out of combat here as well. And, Lori and Senek, Lori kind of gives Gribbo and Viktor and Rench a nod, and you took care of that very quickly. Thanks for that. I'm sorry I couldn't help. I know I would try usually, and rats aren't that big a deal. I'm not like I'm scared of them at all, but while I'm harvesting here, I don't really have anything to defend myself with. Sorry about that.
Maurice, ain't your job. That's our job.
Senek nods.
Victor says he's sorry about trampling your crops.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
I know what happens. I know it was important. And I know and who knows how much stuff's actually going to be here in the first place, but he probably did step on a couple.
We saw Gribbo give Victor, there was a little smile as he said that. He was partially teasing there.
So they're going to spend probably how long are you letting them spend here before you head back to the camp?
I'm fine
Well,
with them spending
we left
a
at first,
couple hours.
in the morning here, so
Yeah.
I'd say we could spend a couple hours here, head back, and still have like half the day. That would make sense, I think, for our time.
And are you
Yeah, we
trying to jury rig anything, or are you just grabbing some of the planks? What are you going to spend your time doing?
It seems like I'm tempted to flip over that table and just, even if we just set a bunch of lumber on it, it'd be easier to transport back like that, right?
Yeah, like I said, you could pretty much convert that into a like sledge where it's just you're just dragging it. It's not great, but it's better than having to carry things. It'll let us get anything of worth out of the cabin, and then if there's anything else here that's useful, we can put it on there too.
Sounds good. I'll try to basically attach a couple longer planks off the front of the top one end of the top of the table, so that people can hold it if they drag it, right?
I'll do an assist for crafting here for you. Oh, you don't get an assist.
Well, okay. Presumably, sorry. Yeah, there we go. There's my crafting. There we go. You know what? I've got hero points for that natural one reason, but of course, we all know how hero points work. Oh no, much
Decent.
better. Up to 20.
So you're trying to. Sounds like you're trying to make a way to help hold onto it at more like hauling height rather than having to bend down
think
to
of
pick it up. Is what you're
like
saying?
a wheelbarrow behind you, but you put hand on either handle and you drag it forward, right?
Okay, yeah. So you're able to spend probably an hour or so pulling up some of the planks from the floor or from the side walls to use to make this construction. So you now have a inverted table with some pulling poles. The table legs, I guess, are probably the best thing that's serving as backstop so stuff doesn't roll off as you pull it. And so that's the current state of what you have. Senec and Lori continue to work their way through the field kind of methodically, seeing whatever they can find. In some cases, they are finding, plants that don't look bug infested or diseased, and they think they could just also bring back as compost. In some cases, and other cases, they're just some though they're throwing out of the field, deciding those look like they're bad and going bad, and maybe too much of the undead around them. And they're just working their way through methodically. It feels like it's going to take them probably about an hour per kind of row to get through. And you're giving them most of the day, so they're probably going to get through the entire portion in that time. But you have still multiple hours here. So what are you doing with the rest of your time?
Rench, you didn't do anything during that first portion. You want some thoughts on what you want to do?
My time was going to be spent trying to shore up and improve whatever means we have to move everything back. Maybe some minor improvements on the able sledge, but I'm also going to be pulling up some extra floorboards, maybe a little bit more than what looks like you might need for improving that sledge, because I'm also taking a few of these back for my own purposes. I need to start resupplying my own ammunition.
You want to try to put like a back on it so we have a backstop when we're dragging it, maybe?
Yeah, utilizing the floorboards and then grabbing a few extra for myself. So I am going to have to eventually regular sized doorways. I will attempt to squeeze my way in. It's going to be like horns go sideways, one shoulder in, and I don't even know if I can actually. Yeah, I don't think I can. I can't physically put myself.
Don't worry, Rench. We'll work on it out here. We don't want to have to get it through the door.
The floorboards are in here, unfortunately.
So go ahead and give me a crafting check, both kind of to how well you're able to pry up the floorboards, how well you're able to attach them to the table, how much you can scavenge extra for yourself.
It was not phenomenal.
It wasn't great. You didn't manage to hook up anything on the table, but you did get a handful of boards up that were not splintered in doing so. And you do think the future ones might be a little easier now that you have a hole, that's to kind of work in and get a little under some of the boards rather than trying to just pry them up from the surface.
Right. That's gonna be my time is down on hands and knees and trying to get as much of this up as I can. Of course, if anyone needs my assistance outside, I could happily help out anywhere else.
So I can take another crafting from the three of you, again, for either how much you're scavenging or how much you're improving the table. That's going to cover probably the rest of the time here. I'm not going to make you do this hour by hour.
Sure. I will try to add it back to the table, or,
I'm going to, I was just trying to gather some more materials and just help both of them where they need it. So get Rench more of his materials, and then when Gribbo's doing some work on the table, just give him a hand with that.
Yeah, so Rench and Viktor, you've probably gotten most of the floorboards up from here, and you think the floorboards looked in the best shape compared to the sides and all that stuff. So you've harvested a good amount, and Gribbo's taken a couple pieces to work on the backstop, and there's now at least a little bit extra. You think for at least the logs, or not the logs, but the boards you have, just piling them, crosswise between the legs probably is the best thing. But if you wanted to try to get a little bit of the soil still or other things, putting that in the very back next to the backstop might make the most sense. And there's a lot of planks on here. Rench, if you wanted to have, 4 planks in your inventory that you can use for crafting mats, that's going to be allowed. However that works for you. And let's see, also an hour in hero point award. I think I want to give it to. I think I'll give it to
Serena.
Serena.
She's so low all those guys. Yeah.
There we go. So, and at the end of the day, as you're working, I think at some point you've pulled the inverted table out of the house. And, they've been dropping small bags of stuff or piles of like seed pod heads of different things, and just building up a big pile there. And at the end of the day, I mean, it's a table. It's probably stacked about 2.5 to 4 feet high in parts with stuff. And you do think it's going to take probably Rench and someone else to make it move, and maybe someone else even pushing from behind on more stubborn ground. So it's going to be some slow going, but you have a fully loaded table.
I figured we were all going to be, Viktor, Rench, and I were probably all going to be pushing this thing along while the other two can carry their harvest, hopefully, themselves.
I mean, they've piled a lot of the harvest onto the table as well, but...
Oh, okay, that's fine too,
Yeah.
And they look around, and Lori is... Well, we did get a nice sampling of vegetables. We don't have all these back at home, so that's going to be nice. Don't know how long it'll take us to learn to grow them, and I mean, it is kind of the middle of the season now. I don't know if we can get another whole crop in this year. I hope the seeds stay good. We'll have to try. Maybe we'll do half this year and half next. That's stuff we'll need to figure out back at Hanging Bastion. I don't know what this farmer was doing. I know it's, obviously you said it's been years since he's been here, but still... The rhyme and reason, or the lack thereof here in this field, it hurts me a little.
I'm not sure he was a very good farmer, to be honest, but you get what you get.
And you begin heading back. What are you going to say, Rench?
Just saying, we're still making the most of what was left behind, so I guess we can thank him for his, lack of farming efforts.
Yeah, I guess we can't be too picky about this, and you said there was an undead living here as well, and I guess it's a miracle it's in this good a shape as it is. Well, we should be off. And I will take athletics checks from the three of you. Rench is going to be fatigued when you arrive back at camp, but other than that, you've done okay. So it's a long, it was about a 90-minute, 2-hour journey here. It probably took double that on the way back, pulling this thing. It's heavy, it's scraping the ground. There are times when they get stuck on a rock and you might pull a little hard, you hear a crack, and Gribbo has to get out some crafting to shore up a little bit of a place that it's seen better days. And at times maybe you have to lift it up even over a small little 6-inch gap that, on the walk here you didn't notice it wasn't flat, but on the way back you can tell that's causing problems with this. So it takes you a long time to get back with your loot here. But you do make it back to the landing. And why does it keep doing that for that one? There we go. You arrive back at the landing, and you make your way back to camp. You see the, small tripods of logs lashed together, or branches lashed together with a torch at the top, scattered around the place. And you smell, Rench probably recognizes the smell. It hasn't really cleared out yet of that Grimple vomit.
Oh, I'm getting flashbacks.
You all right? What
Yes.
happened here, Serena?
Trying to drag a log back to the airship. The survivors from last night came back. It's all right. I took care of them.
No, nicely done.
Looks like you guys managed to get some stuff.
Yeah, gonna have to load it. Couldn't figure out how to get dirt. Well, at least not a good amount of it.
Yeah, we weren't really provisioned for carrying a lot of stuff. Now, were we?
Maybe next time we use some of this wood, build us a car, bring a car with us. We can always leave it at the island if we need to and bring back other things if they're more valuable. But
Well-
wood's gonna be useful for now.
If we can find somebody to donate a rather large, spacious pouch, we could actually gather quite a lot more.
Well, I mean, I don't know how you're gonna have a pouch that big. I mean, those things are small, right?
You'd be surprised what they can stretch over.
You see Gribbo looking very confused. I know you're talking about a magical pouch, but
Well,
She's not explaining.
that's fine. I didn't figure.
let's start getting stuff loaded onto the vessel. So for that, I would like athletics checks from everyone aside from Rench. Rench is already fatigued, and that seems to have dropped off, so I'm going to put it back on you.
I'm gonna reroll.
I
Oh,
still
it's there.
see it here.
It's there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, slightly better.
Yay, athletics. Let's go. I rolled pretty okay.
So at
You
this
did it.
point, only Gribbo is adding to the fatigued pile.
That's fine.
And you're doing the work loading. You've gotten everything from the table kind of unloaded and stacked. While you were away, Silu and Dorn and Serena helping a little bit. We're disassembling the log pile here into about 10-foot long chunks that they can load below deck. Anything longer than that was a little too hard to fit down the access point. So they've been chopping, and there's a good number of logs there. It's not enough to make a boat. It's not enough to make a house, but it is logs. You've piled
Well,
some.
you know what they say, Rench. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You know what they say, Rench. It ain't been a full day unless you're feeling a little tired afterwards.
Well, then this has been a day.
And so they just keep piling stuff into the boat. And one thing that's maybe a little surprising to you all, you're not noticing, any change. Maybe you weren't even thinking about this, but you're not noticing any change in where the boat seems to hover as more and more stuff gets loaded on it. It doesn't sink a little, it doesn't bob. It's kind of rock steady, and I don't know if that would be surprising to any of the four of you or not.
I think Serena might notice that, having a much more educated background, knowing somewhat physics.
I mean, I'm a crafting person. I'd know how ships work in general and probably be... I'm not going to ask too many questions. I assume it's a magical thing, but I would notice it wasn't behaving like a normal ship.
And so they
As
just
long as
keep
we don't find a new and exciting way for it to sink, I think we'll be all right.
Outside of Victor's area of expertise.
Well, I got a question here. Why'd this hull need to be... You could have had holes in the hull, right?
Well, yes, but wouldn't that look like it's been damaged, or then those birds could have got inside without coming around? I mean,
with a latch, we can make a door inside.
Yeah, you could have a door in the side of the hull, and then you could just get in and out that way if it don't need to be airtight. You see Gribbo's brain working in terms of how you could design a better ship, given this factor we weren't quite aware of. But yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. I mean, this is our first effort at making a airfaring vessel, and of course, it was mostly modeled on what I remember of small boats. Of course, the weird wings, I don't quite understand how those work, and of course, the big blimp over our head, I don't understand how that works either. It's a little bit bad place to be as a captain, I must admit, but I trusted the workings of the Airship Guild and the Mages Guild, and they didn't want to share all their secrets, which I was nervous about, but it is what it is, and we are here, and we can retrofit the ship when we get back to the island before the next mission. We can make changes, we can do other things.
Again, I will give you my inn. It is a rather large cart, so I think it at least add a little bit to this.
I think what's the best use of that? I mean, it'd be hard to greatly extend this vessel. We could probably make a little bit taller gunwales on the side here and make it a little more safe. Don't think we can make a second story. We can't really extend the shape of it either. I'm a little tempted just to see if Leonora's and I forgot the name of the other guild master. I looked that up. Tiana. I wonder if they can rig up just like a floating barge we can just use to tug behind this. I hope, I don't know if that's the right use of your inn, but I feel extra cargo capacity in that way, if that works. It's smaller than a whole other ship. That might be better for us.
If it gets me off that island again.
Well, we'll keep brainstorming on the flight back, and when we get back to see what all the guilds have to say.
Well, we still have to make it through another night here. I definitely think we should keep some watches up again. You said that was the last of them, Serena, but you never know. Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, well, tonight's going to be a little bit more lit up. I didn't use all the torches, but don't see us needing more than that.
And so the northern palisade has been more or less completely dismantled, either chopped up for wood into the hull of the ship, or otherwise no longer tall enough to really be a barricade.
Okay.
Get rid of the tainted wood.
They cleaned it off nicely before,
The area's starting to look, a little more bare. They've loaded some of the foodstuffs back onto the boat that they still had left over. And the plan is still to kind of sleep at the shelter you had in this general area here. Well, things not working. Down in this area is kind of the windbreak you made, and that's where the bedding is set up, and where at least some of the light will help you see what's going on. Your back's kind of to the wall. Of course, that is the wall that one of the gremlins tried to come through, so maybe it's not quite as good having that completely blocking your vision there. But you're settling in for the night. Dorn, Silu, Senek, and Lori are exchanging stories of what happened at the two places. Dorn and Silu seem to think Lori and Senek had the better example. They weren't vomited on after all, and they weren't thrown in grease right next to the vomit. Dorn probably commiserates with Rench a little bit of, I know last night you were the brain target. I know I was on watch with you, and it looks like now was my turn.
I learned a few tricks on how to get the worst of that stuff out of your hair if any of it got in there.
I still smell it. Yes. What'd you figure out?
Come on over. Look, some of this upturned dirt over here. It's not the greatest, but it neutralizes the worst of the smell.
And he starts, rubbing his hair in the dirt and just shaking it out. And
yeah.
Well.
Could I tell them that I could just magic them clean, Gribbo?
You know what? Let them have their fun.
Okay.
You want to do a watch with me tonight, Serena? Been a while since we chatted.
Yeah, sure.
If you want to set up watch pairs again, we'll kind of do it like last time. So it sounds like we have one set up there. I'm going to move. Just kind of go, oops, not like that. There we go. So Serena and Gribbo are the first one, I'll say. And just set you up in the 4 rows below it. I think we'll do a triple watch this time. Who else? Who's second watch?
Yeah, I'll be up with Rench and whoever else. Or if Rench wants to sleep, I'm good doing it with anyone else. I know the trip took a little bit out of him.
Well, we'll need 3
after
watches.
Getting pelted with rocks the night before.
I'll make do.
There we go. Okay, we have the 3 watches set up. Okay, so a very very light meal. Everyone's feeling exhausted from the day's work. Probably make some tea or just some hot liquid to feel a little warmed up. Nights are still on the reasonable side, and it's not too cold here, but everyone appreciates a little bit more warmth. And as the sun goes down, the 6 people who aren't on watch, they curl up for their sleep. Serena, Gribbo, and Silu. What are the 3 of you discussing?
Well, how are you feeling,
You
Serena?
want to put the nighttime filter on?
I will.
Okay. Honestly, I don't want to alarm anybody, but every time I've used my magic here, I've been hearing infernal laughter.
Not normal for you?
No.
Okay, well,
I hardly ever use my magic.
Fair enough.
And I think we'd have a fire with us.
You thought about talking to somebody about that, maybe? Seems like you have some stuff going on with you. I don't know what it is, but what is your history, if you don't mind me asking?
I think of the mages. It's because my mother fell for a devil that had helped her maintain her inn by helping her out with, she needed a lawyer, so the only lawyer she could really afford was an infernal one, because they don't ask for money. Yeah, they kind of went on a journey together, and I'm sort of a product of that journey. I don't like to think about it.
That sort of journey. Well, yeah, understood.
Well, no, there was apparently some saving the world in there. I'm not too clear on the details.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I get my
Yeah.
magic from my dad, obviously.
Oh, well,
Mom
I
was
guess that
more
makes-
like a beat them up with a frying pan kind of lady.
Yeah, well, is that where your frying pans came from?
Oh, no, she literally would not let me take any of her frying pans. I had to get my own.
Your mom's still around, or she no longer with us?
Well, Bia, at the start of all this, I would have said yes. I have no idea right now. It's not like Dad would tell me. He doesn't really speak to me. He might just be laughing at me a lot lately.
Yeah, I don't know. I question the wisdom of making a deal with the devil, as well. I guess as I say, but in a literal sense here. But if you need help, you need help.
Yes, and yeah. So, how did you end up in this position?
Well, I mean, my story is not much different. I guess.
Oh, you
It's
have a
lot of
like dad too?
Well, no, that's not
Or
what I meant to say.
diabolic, sorry.
My story is not much different than many of the other folks around here. Your story is mighty different, I'd say. But I just was living on the land down below and growing up. But I came of age right around the time the big war started and started serving the guard back then. And, well, as you know, they were in need of bodies, kind of any kind at that point. And so I took on more of a leadership role there. And then the city done raised up into the sky. It took me, but didn't take my parents or my family. They're down on the earth, and met Darren a short time after, and we've been together ever since. Nothing too exciting. I'm here because, well, I guess because I have the right skill set, I guess. Got a particular set of skills, they tell me.
Yes, like stealing all of my good silverware and turning it into gadgets and armor.
Exactly, I'm a good crafter. You understand, Serena.
Yes, understand.
Yeah, it's very important to know that. You see a little grin on Gribbo's face.
Just giving you a deadpan look.
Hey, Silu, you got anything on you right now? If you know what I mean.
No, I don't think I know what you mean. We loaded everything onto the ship.
No. I was wondering if you had maybe a sip for this watch.
Oh,
Celebrate our last night here.
that would be nice, but we didn't bring any of that, did we? If we
Oh.
did, no one told me.
Okay. Well, never mind then.
Did you see any good mining spots on the island? I know it wasn't our top priority, but it was one of the things I was asked to keep my eyes open for, and I never got to leave the clearing here.
I didn't
Um,
notice anything. Did you, Serena?
From what I remember, the only things that I could imagine there being good mining on would be like kind of that area near the tree, maybe.
Could be. Might be worth checking out another time.
What about
Yeah.
that area made you think mining?
Well, honestly, it was more just that if there would be any material there, it might have been affected by. She pulls out the unusual object from her inventory. Whatever this thing is, some kind of magical artifact. Kind of hoping that it would, bestow some kind of properties onto the minerals around there.
So less that you saw an obvious deposit, but more everything being equal, that might be more interesting if there was something. I see.
Exactly.
Well, it was the only
Yeah.
area that didn't have a lot of life around it, too, which I'm assuming you want more rocks than you do soil.
Yes, and I know you said there was that dried up creek bed. Was that rocky or just kind of mud?
Actually, was it just mud? I don't recall.
It was mostly mud, yeah.
it was more muddy.
Yeah, again, as I said, it wasn't our priority, but I was a miner, and it'd be nice to get back to that business at some point in time.
Well,
Maybe we can prioritize that on our next trip.
yeah, hopefully we can come back very soon because personally, I like it over here a little bit more.
She
A
says,
lot less.
well, honestly, I think we're probably a year or two out from mining anywhere. I mean, this place, I can see us building a small, I won't call it a village, but a settlement here at least. Get some population off, spread us out a little in case the worst should happen. And there's land here. This is, we actually have soil here. You have grass. We have almost none of that back home. I can see
Yeah,
a lot of
and
people thinking this
trees.
is better.
Starting with an outpost seems like the way to go. Builds up around it, then it builds up around it. Well, also, I think it might be getting towards the next watch's time. Getting a little late here.
Okay, let's swap you out. Oops, adding a new light source. Next watch we have is Viktor, Rench, and Lori.
Here, let me turn his light on too. He'd have that activated on himself. As there kind of gets woken up, he just casts it on the head of his hammer, and he kind of leans against it when he's kind of looking out into the darkness here. So, Rench, how you feeling? I know the last day was a little rough on you. First, those little creatures and those rocks, and well, it was quite a trek back. I'll say that much.
Yeah, nothing wears away the memory of having a half dozen rocks thrown at your noggin, quite like a haul through untrailed forest with dragging behind a table full of I'm not even sure what all that was. Lori, what did we manage to pull from that homestead anyway?
Oh, we got all types of seeds. Saw some lettuces. We have some spinach. I think in there we had some sunflower seeds. I think there were some tomatoes. Those were the most rotted though, so I'm not sure how well they're gonna do. We took back a couple of the heads of some of the cabbages that I think might be able to be decent compost, and just more and more. I wish we were here either earlier in the season and we could have maybe taken some transplants back, or later in the season when more of the seeds actually would have been set. This was kind of an awkward time for grabbing seeds, so we did the best we could.
It
It's the
still
first
sounds
foray.
like we got our foot in the door, I guess.
Next, we can get something set up here to where, well, whether we farm or just have the ability to come back and forth more often. It's stepping stones, but I've got to say, those little gremlins. It's been a while since I've had somebody chucking rocks at me like that. Took me back to my youth, but I can't say I got out of the city much. It's been nice to explore this area, see things that I had heard surrounding the city. But Rench, you used to travel quite a bit. You ever come through this part?
There was a part, Orca Village, I think they called it. We found that journal from that farmer that passed. I know I've been through here, but nothing looks familiar anymore, which is kind of what I was hoping for. I wanted to see if there was something out here, some other semblance of what's left of civilization beyond the Hanging Bastion, but I am quickly coming to terms that I might not see that out here.
No, keep hope on it. There are many islands. We've seen plenty, but who knows? There could be one like ours that has a city still functioning, a town. But I think it's just a matter of time before we find something the like.
Yeah, I came along on this initial journey. I mean, being full of hope is not a bad thing, but I may have been a little too optimistic in what we were going to find here on this initial journey. Right now, it just seems like it's, we know all the little mischievous creatures have also survived, and we know that their aim with rocks is still pretty good.
There was also that rift that Serena pulled that crystal from. Those eagles or those birds had all like they had been affected by some sort of elemental power. It's interesting. I didn't expect to find such a thing like that out here, but who knows? Maybe it has something to do with the fact that these islands float. That's something else I'm excited for. There's knowledge everywhere that we can't find anywhere else besides out here. It's nice having some of the books and the texts of the order, but so much was lost when the world was lost that we could rediscover quite a bit.
Lori's going to speak up. And so you've ranged fairly far over this island. If we were to set up an outpost here, what do you think? Right here where we had the landing? Somewhere else? Did you see any... Right, excuse me. Do you see any water sources? I mean, if we were to set up somewhere, it'd be good to have regular water, and it'd be nice to have maybe enough fields to actually start farming without having to just clear the land completely as well. I mean, that farmstead maybe could be a starting point. I don't know. What did you see?
As far as water goes, I think all we saw is a dried up riverbed. I don't remember seeing any water sources, but there were some areas we hadn't gotten to just yet. There's that area where those boars were wandering around. I mean, if there's still life like that out here, there's got to be water somewhere, but not that we found yet. So I do think that if we're gonna set up something around here, it's gonna be, well, it'll have to start with a, what do you call it? It's not a port, I guess, with a ship that flies through the air. Some kind of,
A dock of sorts.
yeah, but maybe that in that area with that tree, or what's left of it now, that had a good
That's
open area.
Yeah, more centralized as it can be means less travel time to any way which you may need to go. But yeah, I believe wherever we can set up first is probably where it'll expand from. So if we could get a dock built, that'd be great. But I think that'll be a specialized team. We definitely would need engineers, laborers to get it done in a timely manner. But the logistics of these expeditions, it'll be interesting.
That it will. I hope to return. I think it'd be fun to try tilling the land here and establishing my own farm.
Yeah, get some of those
Forward
tulips.
to visiting it.
But I think it is the final watch's turn. And
Yeah, I never fully recovered. I'm gonna go back to sleep.
and since
Fair,
they
I
have
want
no
you to
NPCs,
Do
I don't
all
need,
three of them.
I'm not gonna. I am not gonna bother with them. So the morning will arrive. There was no attack tonight. We'll go back to daylight, and the torches, they gave you some extra little areas of light, but nothing happened. And you all load onto the ship. Anything else before that?
Well, I think we take down the torches and things.
Sure.
Should we try to take down? She gestures at the wall over there, or should we just leave it here?
I think it's worth leaving here. Worst case, or best case, if we return and this is where we land, well, it's maybe something that could either be used for defense or whatever. But I don't think it's worth our time to try to dismantle it.
Gribbo will take not a whole bunch, but we'll find some stones and make a small cairn, just to mark kind of this area where we'd been.
Put you back on the air travel map. You don't need to move onto the boat yourself. It's fine.
I got on the boat first. Shotgun.
Curses. No, that's Rench's job. The shotguns.
And so you get back on the boat, and the captain, unties the ropes from the island, manages to get the boat to come just a little bit higher. You mentioned before he doesn't have great altitude control, but you think it's going to come up about 5 feet now above where it was. And he starts heading back to the hanging bastion. You can see the faint smudge just in the distance. You also can see the 3 other smudges now that you know what to look for further to the east. And I don't think we took checks on them before, so if we want to do checks on them now, I can take a perception check from each of you. You can each pick one. So there's southeast. Wait, this doesn't look right in my notes. Southeast, say southeast, east, and northeast were the ones I want. You can each pick one. You have time before the boat has gotten too far away to make out details of them.
I'll go with northeast.
There we go. We can do 2 there. Because we were going to double up no matter what on 1.
To the east for me.
I'll look off to the southeast. Oh, that was supposed to be
Okay, so Serena, you said northeast along with Viktor, is that right?
Yep.
So you see, this one seems maybe the largest of the smudges that you were looking at. It's not as well defined. You see dark grays and lighter grays and browns. You don't see as much green on that one.
Looks kind of like a wasteland. I need to get better
Something
glasses.
rocky. Outcroppings.
You can't tell if it's rocky. It would make sense given the browns you're seeing. For some form of rocky outcropping, that would make sense. That'd be at least consistent with what you're seeing. It's also weirdly less cohesive. You're wondering if it might be a small collection of islands rather than a single one. Let's see. To Let's see who else had a success. Rench, you said southeast, right?
Yes.
That one looks maybe a little closer than the other ones. You think that, and that one's also a collection of what looks like, you can make out probably 3 islands there. It's mostly green and gray, and the gray you're used to. The gray is the underside of the islands. That's so anytime you see gray, that's to be expected. But this one does seem to have green. It seems like it suggests it's also vegetated like this one. And then the final check with Gribbo, you couldn't make any details out of the pure eastern one.
Well, I spotted him. I'll be happy with that.
And
Are we still floating over an ocean?
you're still floating over, actually, give me perception checks there. So Serena, you make out a very strong, like lavender or purple haze. You're not sure, are you going over like a flower field of just covered in flowers, or you're not sure what it is? It does not look like the ocean to you. Gribbo, Rench, and Viktor, you don't see anything. Or maybe you see the purple that Serena's talking about, but you can't really tell what it is. And even then, you're struggling to decide is it purple, is it blue, is it brown? You just don't know.
I swear there's purple down there. See it?
Something.
And
Looks cloudy to me.
oops. And with a loud shriek, guess who's back?
Thought we got rid of these guys.
Your friends, the eagles. As you see 4 of the eagles you'd been fighting and one much larger one chasing after your vessel. And we will deal with them next week.